All right, today we're jumping into one of the most important papers ever written in the history of artificial intelligence. We're talking about Alan Turing's 1950 masterpiece, Computing Machinery and Intelligence.
It all starts with this one giant question. Can machines think? This is what everyone was asking. But the man himself, the brilliant Alan Turing, had a real problem with it. A huge one, actually.
See, for Turing, words like machine and think were just way too fuzzy. He argued that trying to pin them down is a trap. You just end up in this endless philosophical rabbit hole, debating definitions forever without ever getting to a real answer. So instead of getting stuck in that unanswerable debate, Turing did something absolutely revolutionary. He decided to replace the question entirely with a concrete, testable game. He called it the Imitation Game. And the goal here isn't to measure some vague, abstract idea of thinking. Nope. It's much simpler and much more clever. It's designed to measure one thing, a machine's ability to convincingly imitate a human being. Okay, so let's break down the original setup. It's pretty slick. You've got an interrogator, we'll call them C, in a room all by themselves. In another room, you have a man, A, and a woman, B. C can only talk to them through text. Now, C's job is to figure out which one is the man and which one is the woman. But here's the twist. The man, player A, is actively trying to deceive the interrogator, while the woman, player B, is trying to help them figure it out. Okay, so you've got the original game, right? Man versus woman, with an interrogator trying to tell them apart. Now here comes the masterstroke. Turing proposes a simple but absolutely profound substitution.
The new question becomes, what happens when a machine takes the part of player A, the deceiver? Can that machine, now pretending to be a human, fool the interrogator just as often as the man did in the original game?
And just like that, the entire focus shifts. It's brilliant. We're no longer trying to look inside a machine's mind to see if it's thinking. We're just measuring its performance. Can its behavior in a simple conversation be told apart from a human's? And the key thing here is that this test is fair. As Turing so perfectly put it, we don't want to penalize a machine for its inability to shine in beauty competitions. The game zeroes in on what really matters. Intellectual chops and the quality of the conversation, not what something looks like.
Now, Turing was way ahead of the curve, and he knew an idea like this was going to face some serious objections. So with incredible foresight, he actually dedicated a huge part of his paper to taking on his critics head-on.
So one of the biggest arguments was about consciousness. The thinking went like this. Sure, maybe a machine could write a sonnet, but could it actually feel the passion that inspired it? Without real emotions and self-awareness, it's all just fake signaling, right? But Turing's comeback to this is philosophically devastating. He points out that this is basically solipsism. I mean, think about it. The only consciousness you can ever be 100% certain of is your own. We just accept, as he called it, a polite convention that other people think and feel. So why, he asks, should we hold a machine to this impossible standard that we don't even apply to each other? Then there's another famous criticism, this one from the era of computing pioneer Ada Lovelace. The argument is that machines can't be creative. They can only do what we tell them to do. They can't come up with anything truly new or original. Turing's response is so interesting. He just says that his machines surprised him with great frequency. He argued that what we call originality isn't some kind of magic trick. It's often just the complex, unexpected result of working through the consequences of what you already know. And that's something a machine is perfectly capable of doing. So after batting away all these criticisms, Turing starts looking to the future. He didn't just give us a test. He proposed a pretty radical idea for how we could actually go about building an intelligent machine. He basically saw two possible paths. The first path, trying to program an adult mind with all of its insane complexity. He thought that was pretty much a dead end. But the second path, the one he liked, was to program a child's mind. You start with a much simpler structure, what he beautifully called rather little mechanism and lots of blank sheets. And then you teach it. You let it learn from experience.
And this is just such a powerful analogy, isn't it? He wasn't thinking about a machine that came preloaded with a bunch of facts, like an encyclopedia. No, he was imagining a machine that was built with the capacity to learn, just waiting to be filled with knowledge through education, exactly like a child with a brand new notebook.
And all of this thinking, all this incredible foresight, it all builds up to his final and frankly remarkably bold prediction made all the way back in 1950.
See, Turing didn't just leave this as some vague thought experiment. He got specific. He put a number and a date on his vision for the imitation game. And that number? 70%.
He predicted that by the year 2000, computers would be so good at playing this game that, after just 5 minutes of conversation, they would fool a human interrogator at least 30% of the time. Think about that. He's saying the human would have, at best, a 70% chance of getting it right. For 1950, that was an absolutely astonishing claim to make.
And that brings us right here to today. Turing's game, which we now call the Turing Test, has shaped the entire field of AI for over 7 decades. And as machines get better and better at imitating us, it forces us to look in the mirror. You know, he gave us a test for machine intelligence. But in a world now filled with chatbots and large language models that are getting scarily good at this game, maybe his real legacy is forcing us to keep asking, what are we really testing for, and what does it even mean to be human?